What's going on, top 10 nerd family, and welcome back. Sabah Nur AKA Apocalypse has been around for quite a while. He was born in 3000 BC during Egypt's first dynasty. Yeah, I said he's been around for a while. That's how long we're talking here. Apocalypse made his first appearance in X Factor number 5 back in 1986. So who is this guy? Well, his name, first of all, translates to the first one. In comics at least. So when Apocalypse was just a wee baby, he was found by the Sandstormers. The Sandstormers had this mentality where only the strong will survive. So when the young Sandstormers turned 17, they would have to fight to their death against each other. Pretty wild foster family, I'd say. Many of the guys weren't a fan of Apocalypse. He looked different, he was clearly better at hand-to-hand combat, so they decided just to be bullies and team up on him. Jerks. So he took that mindset and carried it with him. Only the strong survive. Okay, you got it. So he takes on everybody. Yeah, he doesn't play around. This is when he was a young boy too. Like when I was 17, I'm pretty sure I was a bit weaker than him. Just a bit. So after finding celestial alien technology, he gave himself an upgrade or two. While fully believing he's a god, he takes over other mutant powers. Yeah, he grabs them and then just adds it to his own current powers. We saw a live action version of Apocalypse back in 2016, having Oscar Isaac portraying the iconic first mutant. In the film, Apocalypse is set out to find his 4 horsemen of, well, Apocalypse. But did you know he also has a long list of children, like actual relatives? Here to break down a handful of those, I'm Taylor McWaters, and here are our top 10 children of Apocalypse. Also, make sure you stick around for the bloopers, cause I'm sure we're about to have some. Number 10, Death. Death for all of them. We will litter the path to Krakoa with bodies of all those who stand against us. For there is an apocalypse coming. Those are the words of the first horseman, Death. First appearing in Powers of X number 4, Death is immortal, obviously. He was sealed away on Araco with his other fellow horsemen, which I will expand on a little later. His mother, Genesis, along with multiple other mutants, made the island of Araco their home, even putting towers up to protect them from the threat of demons, led by Annihilation. That unfortunately didn't last very long. The demons ended up destroying the towers and attacked all of the mutants. Desperate to save Araco, Death sent the Summoner to Earth. And who is a Summoner, you ask? Well, Number 9, the Summoner. The son of War himself, born hundreds of years ago on that same island of Arago, he was part of a group of mutant wizards who referred to themselves as the Summoners. So, what could they do? Well, they could summon various creatures of Araco. Bam, just like that. So while all those mutants were being attacked, the Summoner was sent away to the immense dimension. He was sent to find his grandfather and also carried a portion of Araco with him. His grandfather, being Apocalypse, was needed in order to save Araco. Not bad at all. Being the grandson of Apocalypse must be nice. My grandparents were cool, but they were never like immense dimension cool. They just liked Werther's originals. His powers are pretty interesting. Like I said, he's able to summon and control every dark beast of Araco. Demon elementals, you name it. I mean, in one instance, he actually held one of Cable's bombs as it went off, and it didn't even faze the guy. Number 8, Famine. Also an OG member of the 4 Horsemen, Famine is the son of Apocalypse, first in his name to serve. Similarly to the Summoner, Famine had also ended up in the immense dimension. So after his mother died to the hands of immense dark god, Annihilation, Famine and his other siblings were approached shortly after the omniversal Majestrix Saturnine, who then asked both sides of the war to participate in the challenge of the 10 swords for victory, and they agreed. Famine is also centuries old, as he is immortal as well. Number 7, Jack STARSMORE. Making his debut in X-Men Apocalypse vs. Dracula issue 1, Jack STARSMORE was actually born into a lesser house of the clan Akaba. See, part of the STARSMORE bloodline, he wasn't treated with too much respect. The person that gave him the hardest time was Hamilton Slade, his cousin, who I'll talk about in 1 minute. He had a pretty unique mutation that made him stand out from the rest. That being, he can breathe fire. Yeah, he's a pyrokinetic who straight up shoots fire out of his mouth. Guy must kill it at parties. Oh, and he can also absorb fire too with his mouth. So if anything lights on fire in your kitchen, maybe you're cooking something and there's a little plume of dust, Jack STARSMORE can just suck it up. He was a child when he was deemed a servant to the council and realized he was a small fish in a very big and very overpowered sea. He had to make up for this lost strength, so he would always go above and beyond his duties to make sure everybody around him is happy and safe. We love him. Number 6, Evan Sabah Nur. Sounds pretty familiar to in Sabah Nur. Well, that's because he's his clone. Yeah, making his first appearance in Uncanny X-Force issue 7, Evan was created from the blood of a fallen young Apocalypse after he was killed by Phantom X. So once Warren Worthington became the Horseman of Death, Archangel, he actually was on his way to replace Apocalypse. Phantom X used that small bit of blood and combined it with the world. the world being a scientific facility that's the size of his palm. And he made a clone of SABAHNUR. Not a bad secret at all. Fantomex finally revealed the secret project and used the clone Evan, a good guy at heart, and he sent him after Archangel. It worked because while they were fighting, Psylocke was able to come in and attack him with the Seed of Life. Number 5. William Rolfson. Making his first appearance in Uncanny X-Force number 13, William Rolfson, better known as Genocide, is the son of Apocalypse and Autumn Rolfson. She was afraid that Apocalypse would see their affair-born son and look at him as a threat. So Autumn decided to hide and raise William by herself. Not a bad plan. During this time, William had grown into his mutant powers, and even had a bad suit to go along with it, and he was only like 15. The suit is designed to trap him and contain his powers. He kind of looks like a skeleton in a Hulkbuster armor. It's kind of neat, like a Mars Attacks alien. He can generate radioactive plasma, which is a nice touch in a fight. Yeah, you want to go? Hope you like plasma, bucko. Bam! It's also as hot as the sun's core, so it's real good. In the Dark Angel saga, when William and his mom are hiding, Archangel found them. At this time, he was Apocalypse's replacement, so he recruited William. Eventually, William's mom caught on what was going on and gave them hell. Archangel reacted by killing her. What a Number 4. Margaret Slade. So as a little girl, she straight up watched Apocalypse himself fight a gang of demons, literally cutting them up. She gave birth to Hamilton Slade, and then after that, her second son, Frederick Slade, who we'll get into a little bit. She's very stern and ruthless, as one would assume, being a descendant of Apocalypse and all. Like, imagine being a child and witnessing Apocalypse being summoned to fight demons. Like, you wouldn't necessarily be the most bubbly of all teenagers after that. I feel like you'd be a bit scarred. She favorited one of her sons a lot more simply because of the fact that he was violent and ruthless as well as her. They both had the bloodlines of Apocalypse. One was just a bit more different, if I can say that. A pretty notable power that Margaret possessed is that she's able to transform the molecules of her hands into a metallic material that she shaped into talons or claws. Kind of like that dude from the Terminator with the metal swords. These are jazz hands. These are gold. I think it's gold, right? These are gold. These are jazz hands. One of the two. Go watch Bring It On. Number 3. Frederick Slade. Born as the second child of Margaret Slade, making his first appearance in X-Men Apocalypse vs. Dracula issue 2, he's in the bloodline of Apocalypse, and he's too cool not to include. Born in the 18th century, his family was part of the main branch of Clan Akaba. So basically, he was a second-born and was physically smaller, so he didn't really get too much attention from his mom. Middle child syndrome, kinda. Pretty mean. She was actually using her time and energy to mold Hamilton Slade. The family was pretty wealthy and spent most of their time in the Alexandria house, aka the cool treehouse meeting place for Clan Akaba. So Frederick, growing up more or less under the radar, that is until Ozymandias came along and saw new potential in him. Ozymandias spent his time watching the members of Clan Akaba as they betray each other and even kill each other just to get closer to Apocalypse. But Frederick Slade, he was a different egg. Ozymandias saw courage, fairness, and compassion inside of Frederick, so he trained him to become the leader of Akaba, and to be donned the title of the Fittest. What a great nickname that would be. Like, oh, Frederick. Oh, you mean Frederick the Fittest? Yeah, I know him. He's my boss. So now he's a descendant of Apocalypse, so he of course has a few tricks up his sleeve. Self-molecular manipulation for starters, which most upper-level members of Clan Akaba possess. Also teleportation. But this one is unique to him. Not only can he teleport himself, but he can also teleport objects or people. It makes a cool blink sound when he teleports too. Gotta love the small details. Number 2, Hamilton Slade. Okay, remember that older brother, Frederick, that I mentioned? Yeah, that's Hamilton Slade. He made his first appearance in X-Men Apocalypse vs. Dracula, issue 1. He's a vampire mutant, so no wonder he got all the attention while Frederick sat on the sidelines. He's also got this cool, like, big clan tattoo right on his chest. Dude's not playing around. We meet him in the Victorian era, born into that same wealthy family. He was born inheriting a strong dose of Apocalypse's blood, so naturally, he was destined to become the leader. It's in his blood, literally. He looked at himself as he would Apocalypse. This guy's a born leader. The members of the clan had to take orders from him if they wanted to or not. He ended up dying at the hands of Dracula, which not a bad way to go out, or not go out. Yeah, he became part of the undead after that and returned as a vampire. As if this guy couldn't get any cooler. So Dracula and his new crew, now including Hamilton Slade, attacked Clan Akaba, killing his own mother in the meantime. And then little bro Frederick Slade came in and killed him. Yeah, he teleported his head away from the rest of his body. Nice touch, super gross. And lastly, number 1, Blink. The great-granddaughter of Margaret Slade. also known as Clarice Ferguson, hello Clarice, was a main player in the Age of Apocalypse storyline. Making her first debut in Uncanny X-Men issue 317, she was one of the many mutants that were captured by the Phalanx. She's known to be rather tense and panicky because of her given powers. Anybody caught in the blink wave, which is her teleportation field, would just get shredded. Now I don't mean like get jacked, like they would get shredded apart, their body just poof, gone. She isn't the best at controlling her powers too. And those powers being able to create teleportation warp portals, so she can displace anything and anybody as well. But she also used these portals to throw a weapon back at an enemy. Kind of like in Infinity War during the first New York battle, when Strange and Wong used their portals to throw Ebony Maw's brick darts back at him. It's pretty cool stuff. She joined the mutant nation of Krakoa and battled Nightcrawler, which is a pretty sweet issue. Well, there you have it guys. Look, he's got a lot of children, so I'm sure if I missed any of your favorites, I will get to them eventually, maybe with a part 2, I don't know. And as always, if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you go and do that right now and hit the notification bell while you're there. You're so close, it's right there. And also, guys, make sure to check out our new and improved Instagram page as well at Top 10 Nerd Official. We post breaking nerd news, we post behind the scenes clips, and maybe even a bomb selfie sprinkled in there too. I'm Taylor McWaters, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon. Good wardrobe choice, eh? Blue on blue. I'm like, hey, I'm Canadian and born. Get the eye dust out of my eyes here. Got a little sleep in there. All right, let's do it. No, it's not good. It's no rush. Oh, this is a good pace. Well, da-ba-da-da. After the Omniversal Majestrix, holy shit. This is a good one. These are jazz hands. That is until Ozymandias saw courage. I said it smiling. I'm like, Ozymandias. The Phalanx. That sounds right. Was captured by the Phalanx.